Today we are going to be drawing some desert tortoises and hares and kind of cottontails and jackrabbits inspired by the book Who Ate My Cactus, because these are animals that all do like to eat cactuses. Today you are going to get to choose kind of a different color paper, or you could use the same color paper. But you're going to pick one of the papers at your table right now, and we're going to start by drawing the tortoise first. You can choose any color at your paper or at your table that you'd like. When we start, we want to turn our paper so that it is tall ways. And we're going to actually start by drawing a letter. We're going to draw a capital D. So kind of near like the middle of my paper, I'm going to just draw a straight line down that's nice and big. And then I'm going to draw that curved line that forms the letter D. I'm now going to take my paper and turn it, because that is going to be the shell of my desert tortoise. We're going to draw the legs, and the legs are kind of just like little squares or rectangles. So I'm going to start near the back and draw a line that comes down, over, and up. I'm going to draw another leg, but this one's going to kind of be running into this one. So I'm going to start about here and come down and over until I kind of hit that other shape. I'm going to do the same thing near the front, so I'm going to start at the corner and come down, over, and up. And then I'll have the other leg starting here, coming down and kind of running into that one. I'm now going to draw the head, so it's going to start at the shell. It's going to come up and kind of over and back to the shell. I'm going to draw just kind of one eye, because we're seeing the tortoise from the side, so we only see one. And you could leave it as just the eye, or some could make it into a happy tortoise like that. We're now going to go into the shell and add some kind of the texture or lines we would see. So I'm going to start by drawing just kind of a straight line all the way across the bottom. And then I'm going to start right here at the shell, and I'm going to come down, up, like I'm making a V. I'm going to do another V, down, up, and then one more. If you need to draw a couple extra ones to be able to fit it to your shell, that is fine. At the top of the little mountain, I'm going to draw a line that goes straight up to the edge of the shell. And I'll do another one that goes straight up to the edge of the shell right here. And then at the bottom of the V, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to come down. So I come down from the bottom of the V, down from the bottom of the V, and down from the bottom of the V. The next thing we're going to add, tortoises do have tails. They're kind of like a small little triangle, just kind of poking out of the back of its shell. I'm not going to choose another paper. If I really like the white, I could do it on the white again, or I could choose a different color. This time I think I'm going to do mine on this tan colored paper, and this is going to be kind of like our little desert hare. We are going to start and draw kind of the head and the body are going to be connected. So near the top of my paper, but not too close, I want to leave room for the ears, I'm going to draw the top of the head, and it's kind of like a rainbow line. I'm going to draw the bottom of the body. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come down and around and come back to here. So I'm going to come kind of down and around and back to the top. And it's okay if yours is a little bit thinner or a little bit fatter than mine. They're all going to be different shapes and sizes. We're going to draw the feet. So starting down here, you're going to draw kind of a long, skinny oval out to the side and back. And you're going to do the same thing over here. So a long, skinny oval out to the side and back. And you can add a line or two if you wanted to at the end of those shapes for kind of like the toes. The next thing we're going to draw are his front paws, and they're going to be kind of inside his body. So you're going to draw kind of a long, skinny oval or kind of U shape. And the same thing on the other side, so kind of a long, skinny U shape. And if you want to add some of those little lines in here for kind of his front paws, you can add a couple lines in there. Next, we're going to add its face. So kind of right in the middle of the space you have here, you're going to draw kind of a small little heart. From the bottom of that heart, you're going to draw a line that curves out to the side. And then another line that curves out to the other side. And then usually rabbits, their eyes are usually not in the middle of their face. They're usually kind of closer to the sides of their faces. So I'm just going to draw some kind of little ovals towards the side of its head. I'm also going to draw some just little whiskers, so a couple little lines that kind of come from its nose. And the last thing we need are those ears. So the ears are kind of like tall, pointy, or rounded kind of ovals. So I'm going to start at the head and come up and then back down to the head. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So up and back down. Sometimes kids also go back and they add like one more kind of line in the middle. So if you wanted to add an extra line in the middle, you could add that little line there. We're going to do one more almost cottontail rabbit, and this one is going to be looking to the side. So we're going to be starting our head over here and have room for our body behind. So I'm going to draw kind of a long, skinny kind of oval shape, and it's okay if yours is not the exact same shape as mine. It could even be a circle if you wanted it to be. I'm going to start in the middle of whatever shape I've drawn, and I'm going to come way far back and draw kind of this curved line. I'm going to do a little rounded part. That's going to be his back foot. And then almost like a backward C. That's kind of like his leg there. I'm going to draw a little line coming down from his head. And then kind of like a C again, or like a U shape. That's his front paw. And then I'm going to connect these two with a line. So I'm going to just kind of bring this line back to his other paw. Because we're seeing our cottontail from the side, we only see one of his eyes. So I'm going to put an eye just kind of back here. His nose is right on the edge of this shape here. We're going to draw a couple little whiskers coming back. It's time for those ears, so I'm going to draw both ears. So I'm going to draw kind of one shape coming up and tall and back to the other side. And then the same thing over here. So up and then down back to its head. And again, if you want to add that line in the middle, you can, or some kids even just draw that same shape, but just a little bit smaller inside the ear too. The last thing we need is that cottontail, so just kind of a little puff at the end of his body. Now, if you ever draw something and you're like, ugh, I don't like this. I like most of this, but something about this part maybe doesn't look quite as right to me. So I don't have to erase the whole thing or start over. I just feel like this one part looks a little bit kind of strange, so I might just kind of change this part to be a little bit bigger maybe, and then this part maybe comes up a little bit higher. And now I kind of like that shape better. But if you like the way yours is, you don't have to fix it, but just keep in mind that you can always change little parts that you don't like. And if you want to add some extra details into your drawings, that is fine too. Once you have your 3 drawings, if you decide that you really like this rabbit, this jackrabbit, but you don't like the way you drew it, you are always welcome to flip it over and to try and draw those shapes again on the back to try to get one that you like better. When you are finished, you are going to take a Sharpie and you are going to trace over all of your pencil lines. So wherever you see a pencil line, you are drawing a Sharpie line on top. Once you finish drawing everything in pencil, then you will take a Sharpie and you will trace over every pencil line. So anywhere you have pencil, you are drawing a Sharpie line right on top. Whenever you're finished drawing everything, sometimes these Sharpies do kind of bleed through to the back, so you don't want to trace one on the front and the back side or it kind of ruins both of them. And then you just want to use your pencil to just write your name somewhere. It could be on the front side or it could be on the back side, but you want to write your name on all 3 of your artworks. And then we will put those into our table folder for next week.